Okay guys, so welcome to another exciting video from Ttkinter Academy with me, Faisal from Ttkinter Academy. Okay, so in our previous video, we looked at the canvas widget for the Tkinter GUI in Python. So today we'll be looking at the frame widget. Okay, so the frame widget is actually a widget which serves as a container for containing your widget. So let's say I want to create some containers in my let's say GUIs. I use frame. So the frame actually distinguish between two, let's say, set of widgets. So let's say I can have container one. So let's say I have this part of my page as container one, and I can have this side also as container two. So when you want to differentiate between a set of widgets in Tkinter, you just use the frame, which is the container, to do so. Okay, so let's look at how we can apply that in. So as we always do, we just start by importing our needed models. Okay, so our needed model here is the Tkinter model. So just do from Tkinter import from Tkinter import star. Okay, then we go ahead by saying app because tk, then we do this. Okay, now app.main loop. So simple. Okay, so as we always do, we just create a variable and we store our widget inside. So simple. So we just create a frame variable. Now we create our frame. Okay, so simple. So every widget starts with a capital letter. So as we have here, the F is capital. So frame. Then we pass our let's say master inside. So our master is the app here. Okay, so just pass it here. So app. Okay, so simple. Now what we can also do is that now we have just a container here. So what we can also do is that we just pack it. Let me pack it for you to see. Let's pack. Okay, so here we are not going to see anything here because the container is actually empty. So you can think of the frame as just a container. So I have a container, I haven't added anything inside the container, so it's actually empty. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, so let me actually change the geometry here. So app.geometry. Okay, I'll give it a 4 by 100, 4 by 400 here. Okay, now let's go again. So you can see there's nothing inside the Tkinter GUI created. Okay, so what we can do is just add some buttons and see how it will look like. Okay, so let's look at how we can do it. So here the frame has become a container. So instead of using the app as our, let's say, master, we will use the frame as our master. Okay, so we just do a button here. Okay, now this button will be like we have button. Okay, so the first option will be our frame option. So the master will tend to be the frame instead of the app itself. So here should be frame. So that's the frame variable. So this variable we created. Okay, so frame. Okay, now I'll pass the text as click me. Okay, so simple. Now what I will do next is I'll just pack it. So button dot pack. Okay, now we are done. Okay, so let's look at how it's looking now. Okay, so you can see there's the click me now, but you can't see the frame here. So let me actually let you see the frame we are talking about. So I will just pack it to the bottom here. Okay, so instead of just pack, I will just pass the side option inside the pack parameter. So side equals, then I'll say bottom. Okay, so the pack has an option called the side, and that side is used for, let's say, position our widget. So when I it has four, let's say, parameters, as we already said when we were treating the first Tkinter GUI video. So we said the side is carrying four options. So the four options are left, top, bottom, and right. Okay, so here we will try the bottom first. Okay, now let's run this code and see. Okay, so you can see my button is actually at the bottom here. So when I set my side to the bottom, I can see, so this is the frame working now. So the frame is actually at the bottom. So whatever I add, it will be at the bottom. So let me try and add another button here, or let me add a label. Sorry. So I will try and add a label here. So label being equal to label. Then I'll pass the frame also, since we are using the frame. Okay, then my text will be click me label. So click me label. Okay, now what I will do is just pack it. So label dot pack. Okay, so let's run this code and see. So you can see click me label, click me. So it's all at the bottom instead of the top. So when you actually specify what, so as you can see, I just used packed here. So I used packed here, I used packed here. But here I set it to bottom. So that frame is actually serving as a container containing these widgets here. So I can also create another container containing another set of widgets. So let's try it here. So I'll create another frame here. So frame, then I'll say underscore one, or I'll just say one being equal to frame, then I'll say up. Okay, now what I'll do is, instead of packing at the bottom, I'll pack it at the right corner. So I'll say frame one dot pack, then I'll say side being equal to right. Okay, remember the side should be in caps, so the value for the side is always in caps, but the side itself is in small letters. Okay, so as you can see now, I'll add the same thing here. So label and button, but will be a different label and button. So label one and button one. Okay, so simple. Now let me change this also. So label one and button one. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, so let me actually come down here, run this code. Okay, so as you can see, okay, sorry, I actually, why we seeing this, because it's a button, it's bottom here. Okay, so let me change this. Okay, so let me see, frame being equals to up. Okay, so I can see what we are doing here now. So instead of passing the frame one here, I pass the same frame here. Okay, so frame one and frame one also here. Okay, so now let's actually run this and see. Okay, so you can see my container is at the right corner. Okay, so this is actually a perfect way of, let's say, creating. So when you want to add some containers to your GUIs, you just need a frame container. So at the end of our, let's say, Tkinter series courses, I'll use the frame to actually be moving from one page to another. So I'll create a fun project to do that. So just watch out for that video. Okay, so that's that for frames in Tkinter GUI. So I think it was very helpful. It's just the container, so you have to assume that it's a container which contains a set of widgets. Okay, so that's that for the Tkinter GUI frames widgets. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.